being the son of a coal miner was a shock. To everybody that a coal miner's son could become a professional actor. I was in a C class at a secondary school. I mean, my dad was a wonderful coal miner. 18, 19 tons of coal a day. He shifted with his own physical body. And he played for Yorkshire second team at cricket on the weekends. He taught Fred Truman how to bowl his cutters and how to bowl against the seam. My dad said, that'll lift it into the Australians' faces. You can always say sorry. Right. So my dad taught Fred Truman how to bowl straight into the Australians' faces. But I had lots of uncles. I lived in Goldthorpe, halfway between Doncaster and Barnsley. I was born in Mexborough. And these were the war years. Exciting, man. I mean, I had marvellous uncles. All in all the valleys, they did opera, they did musicals, they did acting, they did drama. They sang. The valleys were vibrant with art. And we had the wooden radios, so we had the BBC Light programme, BBC Home Service, Saturday Night Theatre. We had marvellous programmes like The Lost World or The War of the Worlds. And the actors got Best Actors, not Oscars, they got radio Oscars because there was no television. And they were more brilliant then than they are today on the radio. They were much better versed. Their voices were better, their techniques and special effects. I remember the Martians dying at Saturday Night Theatre on the radio. And all the coal miners there in Goldthorpe, in my little Property Avenue, on my wooden radio, and the Martians dying at Trafalgar Square. Ooh, ooh, brilliant sound effects. They're dying. My God, they're dying. And then you get Paul Temple. And you get the Madison Mystery and that lovely Coronation Scott music and Dick Barton's Special Agent, the music, The Devil's Gallop. And then we had the cinemas. We had the Empire and the Picture House. And of course, what did you see there? You saw Flash Gordon in black and white. Buster Crabbe, who was 6'4", Olympic gold medalist, swimming and diving, a tremendous actor, and they put millions into that series. We watched it every weekend. I mean, I always played Voltan, King of the Hawkmen, when we came out, because he was the King of the Hawkmen. I never dreamt that decades later, in my early 30s, that I'd actually play Voltan in a film. Your body, your face, your eyes, your imagination, your voice. I mean, your very soul, heart and soul is judged. And 90% of the time, you're shot down. And you've got to have the courage to go back on stage that night or go on to a film. 90% of the time, you're shot down. And so, therefore, I said to Richard Briers, it is the toughest, ladies and gentlemen, profession of all, I feel, in the arts. But as Hamlet says about acting, acting is holding up the mirror up to nature, holding up the mirror up to life. But of course, climbing Mount Everest or going into space is life. You see, it's a great art. I mean, it's an art that makes God smile, acting. But you are pretending. If you get away from that, you can make the pretense wonderfully real. But if you get away from that, then you're in trouble. So when you finish the part, go home. Go walk the dog. Get some music on. Watch television. It is not real. It is pretense. It's not false, but you're pretending. But climbing a mountain, then this is real. So Richard Briers said that I see, Brian, I agree. But thanks for the praise. But I do think playing Hamlet requires as much courage as going to Mount Everest. O'Toole dying in Macbeth with all that criticism and near the end of his career, which nearly killed him. I've never seen courage like that from an actor. I've never seen courage that he could go on the stage after such criticism. Never seen courage like that. And I've seen people die left, right and centre in life. Well, my wife is very tolerant. She always says, because I go on, I go from Mount McKinley to Aconcagua, you know, and all these different mountains and different adventures I go on, crashing in the lost world of Venezuela and things like that. She says, well, I say, ever serve you right. So she's quite placid about it, but I think she's quietly proud that I go on these expeditions. Because I think that, you see, people say, is it not dangerous going to Mount Everest? Is it not dangerous going into space? Is it not dangerous going to the Antarctic, the Arctic, and so forth? And I would say the greatest danger in life is not taking the adventure. So people must go. When I do one-man shows, I talk to them, go for it. Follow your dreams and don't let the bastards grind you down. Go for it. I have a gift. My blood is brilliant. I acclimatise more than any other human being, it would seem, so far. It's boy's own stuff to me. Not only have I followed in Maori's footsteps and watched it in the Eagle comic and the Wizard comic, but I can actually go up there without oxygen, much older than Maori was. It's a miracle, being looked after. The mountain is kind to me. And I pray to it when I'm up there. It's a woman. Everest is not male. That's not its name. It's Chomolungma Sagamartha. Yankinamungana Tankia. It's a goddess, a woman. You pray to the goddess. So, at 22,500 feet, you've got 15 days to live. At 25,000 feet, you've got 7 days to live. You get on the South Col, 26,000 feet, 5 days to live. And you will die. Even I will die. And I am brilliantly acclimatized. You die like that. They look like that. They die like that. You die. At 28,000 feet, 28.5 you've got a day to live. Doesn't matter how well acclimatized you are, you will die. If I place you on the top of Mount Everest now, well dressed, you will be dead in 40 seconds. The lack of atmospheric pressure is diminished. At 28,000 feet, it is called the white veil. It's very thin between life and death. It's fluid. You have one foot in life and one in death. Up there high in Everest, the cobalt blue is blue and dark, almost black, at midday at 28,000 feet. We have here in London and everywhere else, we have light pollution. You don't see the sky at night, only bits. But on Everest, the Milky Way sits on your head, green and blue in folds on your head. It's astonishing experience. I find at the moment that, oddly enough, the cry, Gordon's alive, is a cry for freedom everywhere. I mean, some of my lines as Grampy Rabbit and Peppa Pig make audiences laugh. But I describe. I go on and say, of course I have to say it, ladies and gentlemen, don't I? And I roar, Gordon's alive. And they stand up and cheer. From Flash Gordon, they stand up. I mean, I go to schools, I go everywhere, every Tom, Dick and Harry, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, in the West End taxi driver, Brian, please shout Gordon's alive, I've got my telephone, but say Gordon's alive. On scaffolding in London, say Gordon's alive, Brian. So everywhere, it's Gordon's alive. It's a cry for freedom. So I tell them stories from my films of Flash Gordon and my stories of my moments in Star Wars, because again, that's all about space and magic. So it encourages them. But I do, when I talk about Gordon's alive, I say things like, I was halfway up Kilimanjaro. I was halfway up bloody Kilimanjaro by the Horombo hut, and the bloody Maasai chief came towards me, but Jumbo, it's him! Say Gordon's alive! Gordon's alive! Thank you, Buana, thank you, Buana. I'm doing this to a fucking Maasai. I went to meet Ranulph Fiennes, David Empleman Adams, and a whole lot to help with the elephant and Sri Lanka, and I'm doing a lot of work with the elephants and all that. I've not covered all the animals and elephants that I'm working with at the moment. And I went there for a meeting. So I went up there towards number 10, and it was a nice day, actually. And I went opposite and sat on a windowsill. It's a big windowsill, thick. I'm sat there. And then I'm half asleep, and eventually I felt two hands on my shoulder. I said, hello? Hello, Brian? I said, hello, Prime Minister. How are you? He said, oh, I've been doing question time. But you normally come in very quick on your car. I was here once when you came in at great speed. You know, said, oh, I've had such a terrible time. I hate question times. And it's such a lovely day. I thought I'd walk in. Nobody noticed me. I just walked across. It's not very far, is it? And I walked. I said, well, I can't go in because of you. Again, it's a bit like the Dalai Lama. I can't go in because of you. I've got to wait for you. And then I can go in. I'm meeting Ranulph Fiennes and I'm meeting David Empleman Adams to discuss, you know, all these adventures and to save animals. Oh, come in. And he made me a lovely coffee and sugared it all. And then he said, oh, come in here. And he opened up the door, and there's half the bloody cabinet. And I stood on a chair and went, Gordon's alive! He said, yes! That'll waken them bloody up. So even for the Prime Minister. And of course, on top of that, I'm always doing concerts everywhere. And about 2 years ago, there I was at Buckingham Palace. You know, Mr. Blessed, we watch Flash, me and the grandchildren watch Flash Gordon all the time. Would you mind saying to the grandchildren, Gordon's alive? So I said, Gordon's alive! She said, thank you so much. You've got to find something that takes them by surprise, something original, something new, and so forth. And you find something that is of devastating depth. Find it. We've all got these moments, and we can really hit them with it, you know. With me, I am Brian the Fearless. So my vulnerability is something they will remember. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen. I've told you this, I've told you that. And space, and I'm not frightened of anything because death does not exist. So I'm frightened of nothing. I've been up Everest, I've been to the summit, I've been to the most dangerous place in the world, and great storms, and this, that, the other. I've met Rhino Mesner. But anyway, I suddenly make it mundane. A few years ago, in Stars in Their Eyes, I was asked to be Pavarotti. And I said, no. And Ken Branagh said, there you are bloody frightened of something. I said, no, it's not that. When I was in Cats, a musical, Placido Domingo, said to me, I said, why do you always call Luciano Pavarotti Maestro? He said, because he is the greatest tenor of all time. What about yourself? No, my voice is fruity. I have difficulty sometimes projecting. I have to train in a barn. But my voice has a fruity quality, almost baritone. Carreras here, he has cloud in his tenor, timbre. Caruso had a dark quality in his tenor. But Luciano Pavarotti, his voice is perfect. It is golden on every note. No one has sung like that. Not gold on top C's like that. So Ken, that's why I said, I'm not going to be fucking Pavarotti. After what Domingo told me. Don't know. And I said, well, so I was offered 100,000, 150, 200,000, 250, 500,000 for charity, not for me. Oh, I'll do it. I'll be Pavarotti. The makeup was amazing. A wonderful wig, padding, the whole thing, and the whole thing. I did the whole thing and touched me here, and touched my forehead here. The whole thing I did. And the audience cheered because I looked exactly like it. I saw a picture above me, a camera depicting me in large. I thought, God, Pavarotti's here. And then I realised it was me. And the audience cheered and cheered, standing ovation. Then they sat down and thought, well, he looks like him, but he'll never sound like him. And I stood there, and I can't do it in here. I would need a piano and I can't do it. So I stood there, and these are the moments you're talking about. And I went, Amore, che è bello in me, oh solo mio, sta di fronte a te, oh sole mio. There you are. And so I give them, and I do it 10 times louder and do the whole song. And they go apeshit. And they remember that. That I had to. There you are, take risks. Go for it. And don't let the bastards grind you down. And they just cheer. And I don't do it for effect. I do it to say, fucking go for it. Do something. Right to NMP Live. Gordon's alive. Go for it.